Welcome to another episode of A State of Mind by Arabian. Today we have Jack. Jack, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jack. I work in the Emirates Living team. And thank you, for having me on the podcast today.
Amazing, Jack. Are you new to Dubai? How long have you been here?
No, so it's coming up to 4 years in August. I joined when I was 22. So I've been here a while now. And I think it's the best thing I ever did was move to Dubai.
What was back home like? What part of the UK are you from? What did you do back there? Tell us your journey
Yeah.
and how you ended up here in Dubai.
Yeah, so I did real estate in the UK. So I'm originally from Coventry. As soon as I left school, I went for an interview at a company in Coventry. They called me up and asked me when my 16th birthday was. And they said, okay, that's your start date. So since I've been 16, I've been doing real estate since then.
Amazing. What is the main difference between doing real estate back home and over here?
There's similarities. So like you still say the same things to the buyers, the sellers, but it's different the way it works. Obviously here, as soon as a contract's signed, it's legally binding. There's no way you can pull out. I had some problems in the UK where you would sign a contract, it'd get to sort of the exchange phase, and the buyer could just pull from the deal. So there's no security really in the UK, and it's a bit different. Here you have to it's more from referrals, your network. In the UK, you've got different things you can do, like leaflet dropping, knocking on doors. Here, you're not really allowed to do that. So it's different in a way, but it's similar to how you speak to buyers and sellers.
Okay. Who is it that's buying real estate in the UK? For example, here in Dubai, we have, let's call it a tourist place. So we have people from different parts of the world investing in Dubai. Is it the same in UK or is it just the local people investing over there?
Mainly local people. It's still the same. You've got first-time buyers, investors, but it's more like local people. So for example, I was in Coventry, it was mainly people from Coventry buying there. Here, like you said, you work with loads of nationalities from around the world.
All right. So you moved from Coventry, you came to Dubai. What was the first company that you worked in? What was that like? When did you shift?
Yeah. So the first company I worked for here was the company I worked for in Coventry. So when I was 21, the company in Coventry said, look, we're closing down our branches. Why don't you move to Dubai? So I moved with them here. Worked with them here for around, I think it was 2.5, 3 years. And then obviously I came over to Arabian Estates.
What was the difference between the other company and this?
Yeah, so it was more of a corporate company. It was one of the biggest ones in Dubai. I'd never say anything bad about them. I am here where I am because of them now. But it's different. I prefer the freedom I've got at Arabian. I like dressing like this and have to wear a suit in this heat. But I definitely prefer the way Arabian is to the old company I was at.
So you mentioned something about dressing. Now I have a question. We see a lot of realtors always wearing suits. Is it something that companies make it a mandate, or is it because they just want to portray themselves in a particular way?
So some like the bigger companies, like where I worked before, and I know there's a few others as well. You have to wear a suit. That you can't come in anything different. In summer, it's a bit different as well. You can wear shorts, t-shirts, but sort of January, say June, you've got to wear a suit.
Okay, but you prefer being yourself, being comfortable,
Yeah.
meeting buyers and sellers like this. Have you seen anything? Have you seen any difference between the way the buyer interacts with you or the seller interacts with you when you wear a suit versus when you don't?
I don't think you see a difference the way they see it, but for me personally, I'd rather go dressed like this than wearing a suit because I feel like they're off the bat, they already think, oh, he's the salesman, he's coming in a suit. When you just come in a little bit dressed down, but still looking smart, they see you and they can actually have an open conversation. That's how I think. Obviously, other people see it differently. Some think wearing a suit is better than wearing, say, chinos. But how I think of it is, I think just look more casual, not looking to go there straight away to sell them something.
That's fair. Was it easier closing deals in? So you said there was a similarity in the way that you speak to clients here as well as in the UK, right? That's the common factor about real estate. Was it easier closing clients, closing deals back in the UK or here in Dubai?
So I think it's easier here, personally, because I do Emirates Living. So I've got more sort of a patch in Coventry. It's not really a big place. And like I said, you're dealing with loads of different nationalities. So you've got more buyers, you've got more investors, people with more money. So I think it's definitely easier closing deals here.
That's fair. Tell us a little bit about Emirates Living for the audience that does not know. What does it consist of? Where is it located in Dubai?
Yeah, so you've got springs, lakes, meadows, greens and views is classed as it. Obviously Emirates Hills, Jumeirah Islands and Jumeirah Park. And I always say, so I've been doing that now for 4 years now. I think it's the best located community you can get in Dubai. I think that's why it has so much value, is because of the location and the community.
Can you elaborate a little more? Like, why exactly do you say that it's a standout community? Tomorrow, if I had 10 million dirhams, why would I invest in a place in Emirates Living compared to anywhere else in Dubai?
Well, I think the main factor that I was mentioning is location. You're 15 minutes away from anywhere, like the Palm, Marina. If you've got 10 million, you could look at other places like Arabian Ranch. I lived there for a year. But if you get caught in traffic there, it's, instead of it being a 15, 30-minute journey, you're looking at like 45 minutes. With Springs, you can get straight onto like the highway, so you're literally 15 minutes. So I think if I had 10 million, I would personally invest into like the Meadows. It's like the standalone villas. Springs, I think the max you're paying there is 8, so I definitely would look at like Lakes or Meadows.
Which part is more premium than the other, and what's the kind of audience that lives in the Meadows, the Lakes, the Springs? Can you just break this down?
Yeah, so Springs is more where you're just looking to start out into Emirates Living. It's like it's ranging from, you can get a 2-bed, say like 3 to 3.5, and you can get the biggest type there for around 6.5 to 7. And then Lakes is more exclusive because there's a lot less villas in the community, and if you buy there, no one wants to sell there. So whenever I've got a Lakes buyer, it's difficult to find them something. And then Meadows is you can get one now, say 8 million in Meadows 9. It's more if you're looking for a bigger space. Like the BUAs can be vary from like 3.5 to 4, plots are like 6,500. So I think it goes, for me personally, I love the Lakes because there's less in the community and no one wants to live next to loads of people. And then obviously Emirates Hills is just luxury. You're looking 50 million plus, which is,
What is a renovation or a cool upgrade that you've seen in one of these units in
It was actually recently, it was in Jumeirah Islands. It was the first time I've seen it. So normally it's like one big glass pane from floor to ceiling. Now
a glass painting.
No, a glass pane.
Okay,
so,
okay.
And now one contractor's basically done it as like a foldable door. Like the one where we shot that video one time where it was like big glass.
Right.
It's now into a foldable door, which I've never seen before, and I think that is very cool. So one of my investors seeing it and thought, I'm going to copy that.
Yeah. What does a villa like that go for?
So that one, so you're looking around 35 million, 36 million.
Okay, just to understand the real estate market a little better, consider villas in Jumeirah Islands, like you mentioned, that goes from 35 to 50. How often are people inquiring saying, hey, Jack, what's the best we can negotiate on this? I am interested.
You don't see, that's the thing. When you get to like the more expensive level properties, you will have a bit of negotiations, but then people are sort of ready to close.
How often are people inquiring? That's my question. Is it easier getting those leads in?
No, when you get to that sort of level, it's more the people you know.
Okay.
You put them online, obviously you'll get a few inquiries here and there, but if you've been doing the community for a while, you'll always have people that will say, look, if you get anything else coming up, you've got a friend or a family member looking to buy. It's more having a network in Jumeirah Island. So if you've been doing it a while, you'll have people that have bought from you before. Maybe they're looking for a second home to rent out. Don't get me wrong, it's always good to get a property online there because I have converted some from online listings to deals, but it's mainly, I think, your network.
Okay. Let's go. You are a real estate agent who's quite young, right? Yeah. And real estate is a super brutal business. It's super competitive here in Dubai. Let's go back to the start of your real estate journey when you came to Dubai. How did you get into this momentum? Was it difficult, finding that rhythm, closing that first deal? Tell me a little bit about this.
It's tough. And I think a lot of people don't expect it to be this tough. So when I first moved here, I thought, I class myself as a good agent in Coventry, but like you're a big fish in a small pond there. So when you move here, you see there's so many agents. Like the company I worked at, I think there was around 400 people. So when you're walking around, there's people billing, say 2-3 million, some people doing 50,000. So it took me like 4 months to get my first deal. I was sitting there from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m, going in at weekends, calling out. So it's difficult. It took me, like I said, it took me a while to get my first deal. But then once you get your first one, they always say it just keeps coming in, which it did. And obviously skip to 4 years later now, you've just got to ride it out, basically. Some people quit after the first year because they've only done, say, £50,000. But it gets to a point where you start earning, say, like £200,000, £300,000. So it's just about consistency and just keep going.
What are 3 points of advice you'd give somebody starting off their real estate journey, especially somebody who's young like you?
I think when I first moved here, it was difficult because like I say, you don't know anyone. You're meeting loads of random people. I think the main thing in this job is consistency. It's soul destroying some days. You can spend the whole week calling 100 people a day, getting told to, so it can be soul destroying. You've just got to keep going. One day you could call 100 people, get nothing. Next day you could call 10 people and you can pick up 2 listings, get a new buyer. So it's all about the more people you speak to, the more chance you've got of making money, basically.
How many people around you do you see that try their hand at real estate in Dubai, just give up, quit and go?
I've met loads of people. So when I first started, there was 40 people in my new starter group, and I think there's only like 6 or 7 left. People are still in Dubai, maybe gone into different careers. Some have gone home. So I think then people some of them left after like 6-7 months. I think they gave up way too early. But yeah, it's a tough gig. I think you just got to network yourself as well.
All right. I like the point that you said of gave up way too early. How long should someone give themselves? Let's say I want to take a hand at real estate, right? Very fresh. I don't have any experience in this. I learned the market. How long should I give myself to just test out if this is meant for me before I close my first deal?
So I think you've got to give it at least a year or two, 100%. Not to close your first deal. If you haven't closed a deal in a year or two, then it might not be for you. I think you should really be closing your first deal within the first 4 to 6 months, especially if you're putting in the hours and you're there every day, 7 days a week. What I got told by my old manager at the other company, he said, for the first year or two, you're just surviving. Don't expect to be saving any money. And then the third year, that's when you start saving money. You start seeing bigger deals coming in, clients coming back to you from before. So you've got to give it a year or two because that's your survival stage. And then after that, you'll be flying. Well, you should be anyway.
If you had to go back to your month 1 to 3 of your real estate journey here in Dubai, what would you do? What things would you do differently in order to close your first deal faster?
Do you know what? I don't think I would change anything. I like where I am at now with like my network, my clients I've got. I think couldn't have worked any. Actually, yeah, I probably could have worked a bit harder when I first started. Maybe stayed away from the brunching and going out.
Yeah, because I can imagine Dubai also gets distracting at the same time, right?
Big time.
People talk about the pros of, having your own timings, making that kind of commission, things like that. But they don't realize that you can get, you can stray away in Dubai. What do you personally do to make sure that you're always staying on track? Because it is easy to derail.
It's normal for when you first get it. I think for the first year, I was partying a lot.
It's exciting, right? Dubai is exciting.
It is. You come from, say, the UK, where the best thing you can do is, especially in Coventry, they've got Primark. Go to a Primark. But as soon as you move here, you've got like brunches, beach clubs. You want to go out. You want to do everything. So I think some people, this is another reason people go home. They go and do all these things. They don't do a deal, and they've just run out of money. So now I'm a lot more laid back. So I don't really go out as much. But I think once you've been here for a certain amount of time, it just becomes your normal. So you just go out on like special occasions, like someone's birthday. But I do understand when you first move here, it's new. You want to try everything. But yeah, I think when, like I say, you live here for a while, you chill out a bit.
What are some of the best places to network in Dubai where you can build a relationship with a potential investor?
I think golfing.
Golf?
I've just recently started getting into golf. I'm terrible at the minute, still learning. But I think loads of rich people play golf. So I think golf's a very good place to network. I think it's probably one of the best. I think any sort of sports activity like paddle, enter into competitions. I think going out drinking is good if you're a certain person. There's some people that go out and they don't know when to stop. So you've got no chance of speaking to a client anyway. Yeah. So I think for me, it'd have to be an activity where it's not drinking.
Okay.
So I've started taking up golf just so I can start joining on when people are playing.
Very nice. What do you like most about Arabian right now? I know you guys work very well as a team together. You guys have got, I think you've been ranked number 1 in the Springs for over 5 years in a row. Congrats on that.
Yeah.
What's it like working with a team like that?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, we've known each other for quite a while. So me and Nathan, the manager, used to work at the old company before together. And then a few of the other people in our team used to work there as well. So we sort of knew each other. And yeah, we just gel. Like I say, we go out a lot as well. There's no funny business in the team, as in like at some people at the old company. Like if you had a listing, went out a date for one day, they'd be on it straight away trying to take your client. But here, it's not like that with this team. So yeah, I prefer working there because of the team. And back to your point about why I prefer Arabian, I just like the freedom. If we've ever got an issue, something's not working, something's not right, we just go to Ricky or Dan and they'll sort it straight away for us. Like some of the companies, you take someone up to management, it could take a week, 2 weeks before you hear something back. With these, they'll sort it straight away.
Very nice. I want to dig a little deeper into you working along with your mates for this, right? I've heard in the office that you guys have these challenges and things like that to keep yourselves motivated. Tell me a little more about, this kind of culture that you built in the team.
There's a few things. Obviously, we've got a fine list.
Fine list?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get
what is the fine
stuff
list
in the team.
Give me an example. Why do you get a fine?
So, for example, we don't start till 9:30. Well, the company doesn't. We like to get in at 9 because we used that from the company we were before. So we like to be in by 9. So one of the fines, if you come in past 9 o'clock, it's 100 dirhams. Well, it's 50 dirhams to start, and then if you keep doing it, the fines get more. What other ones? Obviously, there's a FIFA at the office. If we play that before 3:30 without doing a deal for the month, it's a fine. It's not like this money goes nowhere. It's for our Christmas party at the end. So we're basically just paying for our own drinks at the end. I think I owe the most at the minute. I think I'm up to over $1,000. But it's like little things like that. Just can't wait. I'm just pay for everyone's drinks. But I think it just keeps everyone motivated to get in early, get deals so we can sort of play FIFA and stuff like that. But there's a few. I can't remember. There's been a new fine book, so I just need to update myself on the new rules. But like I said, we do challenges as well, like fitness challenges in the team where we all put like 1,000 in, and then the winner at the end will get say if there's 8 people, 8,000 dirhams. There's always things we're doing. That's, I think, why it works the team as well, because we're always doing stuff with each other. I think there's some real estate agents where they don't actually even like the team they work with, which I think is a massive thing, because for Springs, you need a big team. You can't take on Springs by yourself. You need it like 7, 8 people at least.
No, I love this, because to an outsider, this may all seem like fun and games, but this is what actually creates the team bonding together. And you guys, like I mentioned, congrats again.
Yeah.
Over 5 months in a row, ranked number 1 in the Springs.
Yeah, it's good to see that every month. I think if you go on the first page, for example, in Springs, it's literally just our listings there. And that's to thank Ricky and Dan as well, because, like I said, they give us all the freedom we want with marketing as well. So, like I said, we've got pretty much premiums on all our listings, which convert us into leads and obviously sales. So it's a big thanks to them. I know some companies only give their agents like 1 or 2 listings. I think I get about 5 or 6. Yeah. So yeah, I got to thank them for that.
Do you personally have a routine that you follow on a regular basis just to make sure that you stay on track?
Yeah, I used to. Recently, I've become very lazy. I used to get up, go gym at 6, go work, stay there till like 6, 7, play like paddle or something. But recently, I've become very lazy. But I'm trying to get back into the routine. But I think for me at the minute, I'm just really focused on work. I think I just I want to do a few more deals before I go away in August. So I need to sort out just focusing on work at the minute, get a new stock. I think it's been a bit quiet recently with everything that's going on. Obviously, there's still deals to be had. But I think for a few buyers, the way the market is and the world situation, it's gone a bit quiet at the minute.
Okay, that's actually very interesting that you brought this up, because that is the current situation going on, right? What are buyers and sellers speaking about? Are they mentioning the war when you're trying to close a deal? Is it really affecting the market? What's that like?
I think, like I said, there's still deals to be had. I think investors are still looking to buy, because obviously when there's been sort of problems around the world before, like with Russia and Ukraine, obviously the prices skyrocketed. I know it's a bit closer. It's only like a 3-hour flight away. I've had a few buyers recently say, look, I just want to hold off, give it a few weeks, see what happens. Had an offer 2 days ago, 5.5 on a property. And he messaged me yesterday saying, look, with everything that's going on around the world, I just want to give it a few weeks to see what happens to the market. I don't think it will affect the market, to be honest. I think we're going to be fine. I think the market's going to take a lot to get it to crash here.
Absolutely, right? Like, I think UAE takes care of those precautions to make sure nothing like that ever happens. But you are seeing a little hesitation from buyers at this point.
I did with when that first, like I said, Russia and Ukraine, for about 2-3 weeks, a lot of people were like, look, we're just going to see what happens. I think give it another 3-4 weeks time, I think it'll be back to normal. Obviously, we're coming into summer anyway, which is usually a bit slower. But I think it will pick back up again.
Do you think this war is going to create an effect on the pricing of property?
I think it will. If it turned
In
out,
what way? Is it going up? Is it coming
I
down?
think commercial as well. I think a lot of people from Iran will bring their businesses over to Dubai.
Okay.
So if anything, it will bring like the commercial prices up. And eventually, if their businesses are moving here, they may move here as well. So if anything, I do think it could bring the prices up. But it all depends.
Yeah.
I always say to sellers and buyers, I say, look, I'm not one of them agents that lies. No one knows what's going to happen. I have one seller that says, oh, I need to sell my house. This agent says it's going to crash by like $1 million dirhams. I said, look, we don't know what's going to happen. So let's just keep going, give it a few weeks and see what happens.
So, Jack, let's talk about your relationship with your clients, right? What do you do to make sure that you establish and maintain a good relationship? Do you meet them outside the office? Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, so I've got a certain set of clients I'll always go and meet. So I've got one client that I'll go play paddle with. He bought a property for me in the Springs around 2 years ago, but I always keep in contact with him. So like I said, we'll try and catch up, say every 2 or 3 weeks, have a game of paddle. I've got another client, I'll go and meet him and his wife for coffees. We're actually trying to arrange to go out for dinner soon. And then I've just took on another client recently. We became really good friends. We go to like shisha bars. I've asked him if he wants to start playing golf. So I just like to keep in contact with people I know that I'll work with in the future or that I get on with, because I think in this business, say referrals from other clients is massive. So I've had about 4 or 5 referrals from different clients, or people message me saying, look, I've got your number from so and so. So I think it's a massive thing to always keep in contact with buyers, no matter if they're not looking to buy for 2-3 years or sell for 2-3 years. It's always good because you never know who they're gonna sort of send your number to.
Has there been a point in your career where a client was extremely impressed by something that you did? That would be the process of closing the deal,
Yeah.
like maybe getting a unit that was really difficult to get. Is there anything as such?
Yeah, I think the community we do, Springs, it's a very tough area. It's saturated with a lot of agents. So I think trying to find units there now at a good price is quite hard. So I think any buyer, you can go there and find them sort of a slightly under market unit is going to be happy. I got one recently for a buyer, cash buyer. They're able to get a fully extended, I'm talking to a different language here, but a fully upgraded 3M for 4.775. Which is cheap in the Springs now. They're going for around 4.9. So they were over the moon. They're looking to sort of renovate and flip the property. So I know because I did that for them, they'll sell it through me and potentially buy another one through me.
Has there been a client that you've worked with for a long time and that's just left you and gone for somebody else?
Yeah.
I'm sure this happens in the industry.
Yeah.
What is that like, mate?
It's heartbreaking. It is. Because I've had one recently where I've known them for like 3 years. One of the first ever people I started speaking to in real estate, I showed them back then like 16 villas. Unfortunately, they sent me somewhere and said, look, can you get this? I couldn't get it. So in the end, I told them, look, buy it through the other agent. I don't want you to miss out on this deal. So I'd never stop someone from getting a home or making money. And then skip to sort of now, I sold their property exclusive. And they said, look, help us find somewhere. I even went and bought data for the community so I could find them the units. They gave me the unit numbers. Found the one they wanted, called the owner, he told me what price he wanted. They said, oh, let's just hold off for a day. Turns out they signed on that unit with another agent after I spent money on the data, calling the data list. And then they actually bought in the community that I sold their villa as well. And they told me they didn't want that. So yeah, when I found this out, I thought, it's just real estate though.
Yeah.
Stuff like this happens. You can't let it get you down because it's going to happen again.
It's very common, is it?
Yeah, it is common. Obviously, I've got some exclusive buyers, sellers that wouldn't do that. I'm working with a buyer now. She's looking in different communities. So I've showed her for the past 3 weeks. I've been to Moodon and Mirror about 6 different times. I'm back there again on Friday. And they're actually sending me other agents listening saying, can you get me this? So there's people that will do it and people that won't do it.
For a change, let's try something different. I'd
Yeah.
love to know what a client actually thinks about you. If you're comfortable with it, I'd love for you to call a client and just let them know that you're on the podcast and just, I'd just love to hear what their real life experience with you was like. You mind doing that?
Yeah. Let me see who.
Are you nervous?
Could go one or two ways. I just don't know how the guy will answer the phone. I know who I'm thinking of. Go on over. He's at work, so I'm kind of hoping you don't answer his phone.
No, it's fine.
He'll probably call me back though while we're on the podcast. I don't know what's worse, him answering.
Person you are calling.
I don't know what's worse, getting pied or him not him answering.
No,
But he'll call me back.
that's
So
fine.
when he calls back, I'll answer it.
Chance of somebody just picking midday, it's crazy. But we always take the chance, right?
Yeah,
That's
we'll always
alright.
take the chance.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll be on the podcast in the next 5-10 minutes when he sees the call. He'll probably ask me to go for a beer.
No, but it's good, you know,
Yeah.
maintaining this kind of relationship with your clients. Do your clients ever call you and just be like, Jack, I have no interest in buying or selling, but just give me some advice on the market right now. What should I do?
Yeah, I get that a lot. So a lot of sellers in the Springs will say, look, I'm not looking to sell yet, but can you send me like a market report? Because I'd like to see what they are transacting at. Because everyone's got a price. Obviously, there's some people that will never sell because it's their family home. They're going to stay there forever. But I've had people before where I've gone to them and said, look, it's worth 6 million. They say, well, I thought it was like 5.2, 5.3. And then they're actually open to the conversation about selling the unit. So it's always good to educate your sellers. So every month I'll try and send like a market report to everyone that I'm in contact with, just to say, look, this is the recent transactions, tell them what's going on in the market. So some agents will just literally message them, got a buyer with a check, which is a load of rubbish. They don't. So I try and educate sellers and
So
buyers.
it's just like a hook and bait, is it?
Yeah, it's like a hook and bait. And then when the seller goes, okay, when can you bring the client round? They go, they still go, oh, I don't actually
You suddenly
have
have to find a
one.
client.
Yeah, you suddenly
then,
have to find one. They're probably
Yeah.
getting someone from their office to go and view it. But I think it's...
Does it happen?
Yeah.
I've heard about
Yeah,
something
it
like this.
does.
Does this really happen in the market?
I've heard a few stories of this happening. So I'm not going to say names and the companies, but I've heard of stories of this happening. But I think it's crucial to keep your sellers and buyers up to date with what's going on.
Yeah, I think people can sniff bullshit, right? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people now, I think with that, because when I first started, there was a lot less real estate agents. So it was a lot easier to speak to sort of sellers, buyers. They wouldn't get as annoyed. Now there's that many people moving over to become a real estate agent, to see the life on Instagram.
Right.
They go, I want to be a real estate agent. So they're just coming over now. And I don't sound horrible, but they're sort of messing up the market. I have like some sellers in the spring, so I'm very realistic with my price. Say it's like, I say it's 6 million. He'll go, well, another agent just said 7 million. I'm like, well, here's the data. All sold for 6 million. If you think you can get 7, go with that agent. And then once it's not sold, come back to me.
Yeah. So you know where to draw the line, because like you can't
Yeah.
just be saying, you can't be a yes man just because the client says something. You can't just be like yes, 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 yes.
No, definitely can't. When
Yeah.
I first started, I think I was a bit of a yes man. I think everyone is, because you don't really know. You want your first deal, so you don't want to say no to anything. Now I'm very selective with who I work with. If a seller comes to me and says, I want 8 million, it's worth 6, I don't want to waste my time, your time for marketing videos, photos, when I just know it's not going to sell.
Right.
So I try now to be selective, and I'll always say, look, I'll help you. I'll tell you and advise you what to list it at. If the online listing with the agent looks terrible, I'll tell you as well. But I don't want to personally pull it online at that price. I don't want my name to be taken down with something that's 2 million overpriced.
No, makes sense. That's what makes you the professional, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. To my understanding, this is the way it works. You get somebody wants to sell a house. You get it listed. Your company, let's say your company probably plays an advantage of having it in premiums, getting it on Spotlight. The kind of leads that come in, are there agents that are calling you?
So many.
How do you deal with
please, if another agent calls me and says he's got a client for a BHK, please don't call me. I think, honestly, the amount of agents I get calling me, data people, it's ridiculous. Obviously, we get really good leads as well, but I get so many agents calling me. It's crazy. I have a select group of agents I work with from different real estate companies that I trust, but honestly, my phone 24/7 is agents.
What do you usually tell them when they call you? Do you just say, no, I'm not interested? Or are there times where you have a little fun yourself?
Yeah, there's some times where I'll have a little bit of fun, like egg it on, but there's sometimes as well where I'll suss out if it's going to be like a serious agent and client. I'll ask them, obviously, send over all the details, like A to A's, see if we've got the client. But most of the time, I don't get them booked in.
I understand there are some times where the buyer or the seller is from another company, right? They're represented by another agent. What's it like dealing with an agent from another company? Because now I understand there is the blind trust saying, you know what, don't screw me over.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to like deals and stuff, because I like to know everything that's going on. When you're speaking to another agent, you'll never get the full truth, because there could be something going wrong with the deal. They don't want to tell you. They could be getting full commission. They won't tell you that. So like I said, I'm very selective of who I work from. I've got people that I've worked with from my old company and a few from other big companies in Springs. They're the only people I try and work with, because if an agent calls me that doesn't do Springs, he's got a client, more than likely me or one of them agencies are working with that client already.
Right.
because they would have inquired on one of our listings. So I try not to work with every agent because the problem is everyone's got serious clients, apparently. So I don't want to be wasting my time going to loads of different villas. Turns out they've never seen the Springs before. They don't know what the price is. They need vacant. This one's rented. So I like to work with people who've done the area for a while because I know their clients then. They actually know what they're looking for.
Ever been betrayed in the process?
Not betrayed from another agency because the people I've done business with mainly are people I've done quite a lot of deals with. So we've got that trust now where we wouldn't betray each other. But at the old company I used to work in, there's definitely some times I've been like stabbed in the back. And that's within like your own team.
Yeah. Be like, mate, I just went to use the washroom. Where did my client go?
Yeah, exactly. Like a client could go out of date by one day, say you got to speak to your client every week, which I do now anyway because it's been drilled into my brain. But like when you first start, sometimes you forget to do things. You'll go back on, the client's now in someone else's name and they're booking viewings on. You think, well, what's going on here? Like it's a battle against other agencies, not in your own team anyway.
Yeah. It's friendly fire, right? Like,
Yeah.
shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
What are you like in general? Let me ask you a question, right? What do you do with your first ever commission?
That was 4 months being into Dubai, so I was probably spending it on going out. Probably brunches, pool days, beach days. My whole money would have just gone on that. And I think at the time, I was close to running out of money. So I think I lent a bit of money from my mum. So I think it was paying her back as well. And I think that went very quick. Yeah.
What's it like creating a work-life balance in this job? Because it is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Do you set a target for yourself and then do you take off, or like, are you working 365 days a year?
So I used to hit target and I used to then just chill out a little bit. But now recently I'm trying to more just focus on work. It's hard to have, there's no such thing in this job as work-life balance. There's not. Because I've got clients that want to view at 7 p.m. at night, 6 a.m. in the morning, 4 p.m. on a Saturday. Like it's hard to like actually have a social life. Like unless you've got something booked in for a week, like someone's birthday or something, I'll always try and rearrange viewings. But at the minute for me, work does come first. Because like I said, I want to be one of the best real estate agents in Dubai and I've got a long way to go before then. So at the moment, I'm just knuckling down. I think for the next year or two, I'm going to just knuckle down, get things done. If anyone wants to view at 7 p.m. at night on a Saturday, I'll do it.
Now, this goal that you mentioned,
Yeah.
wishing you the very best. What does it take to be one of the top agents here in UAE?
Depends what you base it on, because some people base it on the money you make. So I know some agents that are doing 7-8 million on the board a year, and there's agents that you've never heard of billing like 50 million a year. Obviously, we all want to make money as well, but I just want a good reputation. So I want to have like a big network of people where, like, there's some people that have got like their phone book, for example, has got loads of billionaires in, and they're just like a well-known agency. Like you could go around and say some agent's name in Dubai, and everyone will know them, heard of them
Right.
through agent, like through real estate. So I want like a sort of a name for myself, and obviously the money that comes with it as well.
That makes sense. What is the next step to reaching that goal?
It's a difficult one at the minute. I think it's just networking for me. Like I said, I've now taken up golf. I think obviously I enjoy it as well, but I think it's a good way to network, getting into like societies, playing sort of once or twice a week. I'm going to start paddle again. Like I said, I've gone off gym and everything recently. I don't know why. Can't wake up at the minute. I'm just so tired. So I'm going to start getting back into all these things. I'm just going to start networking more. They always say your network is your net worth. So I want to start getting out there, meeting new people. I've got a good group of people now that will always buy and sell through me, but I want more.
Forget any place here in Emirates Living.
Yeah.
If you could live somewhere else in the UAE, where would it be?
Well, apart from with Emirates Living, I think Jumeirah Islands is my number one. It's in Emirates Living. I know you said. I think outside of that, I like Jumeirah Golf Estates. I think Jumeirah Golf Estates.
Is that where you would be selling as well? Is that a place that you're confident selling?
Yeah, I would love to sell Jumeirah Golf Estates as well. If it weren't Emirates Living, it would be probably Jumeirah Golf Estates. I don't mind Talal Al Gaff, but I think they're the two I'd probably pick if I wasn't doing my current community.
Do you dabble in the occasional off-plan as well?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a bit more into off-plan. There was an article that came out, 60% of most deals recently have been off-plan. So I'm trying to reach into it more, but most of my clients are, like I say, end users. So that's where it comes to like networking again. All it takes is one good off-plan buyer that says, I want to buy 6-7 units. Then he said he's got friends. That's why I said it always comes down to just calling, speaking to as many people as you can. It takes one person in this job to change your life.
That's very well said. Now, speaking to all these people and your experience in real estate, do you have any funny stories that you can share?
Yeah, I've got one, but I just want to make it clear. This is at the very start of my real estate career. I don't do this anymore. I was out with a client that really wanted to view this house. And so my colleague told me where the key was, but I was viewing that many that day. I got mixed up the addresses, so I thought the door was locked. Noticed that the window was open. So I climbed on the ledge, and the ledge just snapped. Like this concrete ledge just broke, and I stacked it in front of the clients, and they were just looking down at me. I was looking up, and it was the most embarrassing thing ever. I'd never do that again. I wouldn't advise any agents to do that. I was told the seller straight away. He was fine. He laughed about it, and he got it fixed. And they actually end up buying the house. So,
oh, very nice.
So, but yeah, I would never advise any agents to do that, and I'd never do that again. If it's locked, I'm just going to walk away and say we'll come back another day.
Very nice. Very nice. Being such a ruthless industry, is there a piece of advice that you've heard in your past that you keep close to you that keeps you motivated and keep going on?
You know what? Now you put me on the spot. I actually can't think of any advice. I think, like I just tell everyone, like I've got a friend that's moving to Dubai at the end of this year. I said, you just need to be in the office 24/7. Honestly, consistency is key over here. I said to him that you could call, say, like I said to you earlier, you could call 100 people a day and get nothing back from it, but you could come in the next day, call 20 people, and you can get 3 listings. I think some agents will come in for a week, make the calls, get nothing, then next week they'll just say, oh, well, I didn't get anything last week, why would I get something this week? I think I'd just say to anyone, like, consistency. Literally all it is.
On days when you make 100 call and get no response, how important does being part of a team come into this?
Yeah, it's good because everyone's there to pick you up. Like, say if I'm having a bad day, like one of the boys will say, like, look, let's go again, or they'll say, do you want a game of FIFA?
Yeah.
But no, I think it's good. You need a team. There's certain communities in Dubai where you need a team, and I think Springs is one of them. Because you're going against other agencies that got 15 agents, just all calling all the sellers, so they'll have all the stock. So you need to make sure you've got at least a team of 7 or 8.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jack. I wish you and the Emirates Living team all the very best. You guys have been smashing it. Hope the rest of the year goes the same.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure, mate.
Cheers.